Cassia, the Society is pleased to present you with your match. I smile as Xander's face appears on the port screen immediately following the recorded message. It's a good picture of him. As always, his smile looks bright and real, his blue eyes kind. I study his face closely, pretending that I've never seen this picture before, but I've only had a glimpse of him once, last night at the banquet. I study the planes of his face, the look of his lips. He is handsome. I'd never dared to think that he might be my match, of course, but now that it's happened, I am interested, intrigued, a little scared about how this might change our friendship, but mostly just happy. I reach up to touch the words "courtship guidelines" on the screen, but before I do, Xander's face darkens and then disappears. The port screen beeps and the voice says again, "Cassia Reyes, the Society is pleased to present you with your match." My heart stops and I can't believe what I see. A face comes back into view on the port in front of me. It is not Xander. That's a quote from Matched by Ally Condie. This is YA Book Chat, and I'm your host, Leah Stuhler.
These days, more authors are including mental health content in their books. But do you ever wonder how accurate some of this stuff is?
Or do you ever read something where you know the author just gets it?
I'm Elise.
And I'm Priscilla.
And we are Novel Feelings, a podcast where we discuss mental health issues in fiction novels.
We are psychologists and book lovers, and we have a lot of opinions.
So look for Novel Feelings wherever you get your podcasts.
Now, back to your show.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of YA Book Chat. Thank you so much for being here and for listening and supporting the podcast. I want to say a special thank you to those who are members of my Patreon. I really appreciate all of you and your support. So today I am excited to be covering the book Matched by Ally Condie, and I have a very special guest with me. I have my friend Abigail with me today. Abigail, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy that you had me, Leah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So a little background for you guys. I met Abigail through the Prince Ky fan pod Patreon group, which is a lot of fun. And Abigail does this, has this absolutely fantastic Cress in her butterfly dress cosplay that she has done. And it's perfect. And it's so beautiful. And you guys need to check her out.
Thank you.
I love it. It was perfect.
Thank you.
Well, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, like Leah said, we met through Bethany from the Prince Ky fan pod. I was very late in joining the Lunar Chronicles fandom, so I was really excited when I did, and I found all these great people, and I'm a writer myself, so it was really fun to read Marissa's works and kind of get re-inspired and read someone who is a really good author, and it was just, I've been really enjoying being a part of this group.
Why don't you tell everybody a little about your book?
Oh, okay. So my book is called Daughter of the Moon. It's kind of a twist on the Child of the Moon, werewolf thing. And it's about this girl. Her name is Jade, and she's a student at the Kennerai, which is this really prestigious intergalactic school. And she has the ability to turn into a tiger during the full moon. But through her character development, she learns to control it not during the full moon. So she can kind of phase whenever she chooses. And as far as she knows, she's the only one of her kind. So obviously she's super cautious about who she tells and who knows. And pretty much there's only a handful of people who know. And throughout the book, she ends up going on this mission from the Kennerai, and she finds out that there's this group of people who she doesn't know how, but they found out she is a daughter, and they're trying to kidnap her. So it's kind of this, how she ends up fighting them off and, all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm so bad at describing my book.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's totally fine. I was listening to the Happy Writer podcast, and Marissa had someone on there. I don't remember which book it was, but she said the same thing. Her guest author described her book, and then she said the same thing. I'm so bad at talking about my own book. So
I am, seriously. I'll describe anybody else's book, no problem. And it's when I try to describe my book, it sounds so lame, or it sounds so this. It's
No,
I
that
don't know how to
actually
make it sound good.
it does sound really good actually.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I love that you have that she turns into a tiger versus just turning into a werewolf because that makes it a little
Uh-huh.
bit different. So
A little
that's really
different.
fun.
Well, and
And you got
tigers are my favorite animal, so.
yes, I can tell. You guys can't see this because you're just listening, but what I can
Yeah.
see is that Abigail has a tiger, a stuffed tiger on her bed in the background, and it's humongous and it looks
It's
fabulous.
giant. It's like 6 feet. It's giant.
It's really nice. I happen to have a copy of Abigail's book that she sent to me. So
Yay!
when I get around to reading it, I'll have Abigail back on and we can talk about her book together, which will be a lot of
Yay.
fun. So
Oh, I'm so excited to hear what your thoughts are on it too.
I'm excited to read it. It's going to be fun.
Yay.
All right. So we are going to talk about, again, we're talking about Matched by Ally Condie, which is the first in this series. And I'm going to give everybody a quick plot overview. Like normal, the first like 10 to 15 minutes will be spoiler free so that if you haven't read the book yet, you can listen to this and not have anything ruined for you. And then I'll let you know when we're going to go into our spoiler section. All right.
Cool.
So we have Cassia Reyes, who lives within the society, and the society controls everything about your life, where you work, when you die, who you love, what you eat, everything. Cassia has always trusted the society's choices. And when her best friend appears on the matching screen, she is certain that he's the one who she's going to marry until she sees another face flash for an instant before the screen fades to black. Now she is faced with impossible choices between two boys, Xander and Ky, between the only life she's ever known and a path that no one has dared to follow. So it's a very it's a very fun book. I will say
Very fun.
out of the three, it was actually my favorite.
Ooh, okay. I haven't read the other two, so I can't
Okay.
form an opinion.
Okay, well, I won't say anything about the other two books then, which will be good for everybody else listening as well. I won't spoil that. But I will say out of the three books, this one was actually my favorite.
Okay, cool.
For different reasons, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I glanced really quickly at the second to the cover, and I love how, I don't think this is a spoiler, but how in the first cover, Cassia, is that how you say her name? I said Cassia.
Yes.
How did you say it? Cassia. Okay. How she's like in this little bubble, just like sitting all peacefully. In the second one, it's like the top of the bubble is broken and she's kind of peeking out. And then the third one, she's like standing up totally out of the bubble. It's like, oh my gosh, that cover art makes so much sense. Like when I look at all three of them.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, and that's not a spoiler. Like the covers are really fun. I like it. And they're like vague enough because you can't really see her face. But it matches really well with the names of the books too. Matched, crossed, and then reached. So
I love titles like that are so like so vague, but just like hook your attention.
Yeah. Especially when they've got a good cover too, that really helps as well. I always love that. And I love the green of her dress on this.
And I love that her eyes are green.
Yes. And we can talk about that in a little bit too, because there's a reason that it's green. So, but it's fun. All right. So let's talk about, since we kind of already started, we'll give everyone kind of our overall thoughts on the book, spoiler free. So, all right, Abigail, you go first. What did you think of the book?
My first thing when I was reading like the back cover was that when Cassia sees her best friend's picture pop up, I love that. That's probably one of my favorite story arcs, is like best friends to lovers. I just think that's like the sweetest thing ever. I've always wanted to have a guy best friend to fall in love with.
Aww.
So when I read that, it was like, oh, she gets to marry her guy best friend. And then it's like, no, someone else's picture pops up. Which that's a spoiler, never mind. I was like, wait a second, I was gonna go somewhere. So I loved that story arc. It was really great. And I think I read like the first 3 chapters in an hour. It was just like it grabbed me right away.
It does pull you in really quickly. That's something that I really
Mhm.
enjoyed about it as well. I was looking at my notes, like where I wrote down or where I marked pages. And like I started marking pages like the second page in, just from something
Oh,
that he
wow.
said, that Xander said. So it's just funny. Like it's definitely, cause it starts with her going to her match banquet.
Her banquet. Yeah.
Yeah. And, so what happens is if in case you haven't read it yet, the matched banquet is again the society that they are living in controls absolutely everything, and they control who you marry as well. So once you hit a certain age, the girls and the boys will go to their match banquet, and the society matches them through like a mathematical system. They pick who they feel like would be best suited for each other. And so they go to this
Mhm.
banquet, and that's where they find out who they're going to marry.
Who they're gonna marry.
So,
Isn't there a TV show? Is it Married at First Sight where they do like all these scientific, like they from these pool of contestants they pick? Is that Married at
yeah,
First Sight, or am I thinking of
I
something
think
else?
so. No, I think it's Married
It's
at
like a
First
reality
Sight.
show. Yeah.
Yes.
That kind of reminded me of that. Like,
frankly,
okay.
frankly, I was glad that I didn't ever have to deal with this kind of situation. I mean,
Yeah.
now Cassia lucks out because her best
Yes.
friend gets picked as her match. So that
I
works
know,
really well.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know.
lucky.
Hmm. So I really like the book a lot, but I do have to tell you that it was also a little bit scary because to think about like how much control the society has over everything,
Yes.
and to think about, oh my gosh, like that's something that I could totally see happening in the future. Like it's not,
Yes,
I
right?
mean, this is like, it's a futuristic book in one sense, but at the same time, you're kind of like, yikes, like this is
I
actually
know.
the government could like take over and try to do this stuff. And that's really
Yes, it is.
scary.
It's really scary, really creepy.
I mean, they don't even cook. Like
No,
the
I know. I was
government
like,
provides them meals.
just like send it, and like everyone has their own like number of calories that they can have. Like they can't even have like a cheat day if they want.
No. I mean, so what they watch is controlled. Like the movies are all controlled. They only have so many options
uh
when they
The
go
stuff
see
that they have,
something.
like
Right.
they can
The
only
stuff.
have like a certain number of possessions.
Yep. They,
Oh,
their jobs are picked for them by the society based on
yes.
like, what they act like. I mean, it's all crazy because it's all like mathematical formulas, and
It is.
the society wants everybody to be perfect, and they want to, eradicate disease and sickness
Emotion.
and emotion pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. It's like, it's just kind of crazy because it just makes you think about like, oh my gosh. I mean, these people essentially have no freedom of choice. It's
Right?
like the society kind of lets them feel like they do, because it's like, okay, for your free time, kids, you can go to the gaming center or you can go see a showing, but your options, you can only play the games that are at the gaming center that we've set up for you.
Right.
And when you go to the showing, you can only pick one of two things, so it's like,
Yes. It's like how depressing
mhm.
a way to live.
Yes.
Like where you can only do the same things over and over again. There's nothing ever new, you
No.
know?
No. And what really what makes me sad about this society too, is the fact that they also control everything in the arts. So like they
Hmm.
only picked whoever, when they first started this society this way, they picked 100 paintings, 100 poems, 100 songs, like for these people. And
Yeah.
that's all that they have, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Which makes me like, I don't think they talk about this in the book. That in my head, that kind of means like, is there no internet then? Like, have they taken away like personal computers? They have like their like
Yeah.
tablety things, but I mean, can they do Google searches and look at other paintings? Can they read history books that are not available at the library? Like, do they have access to that, or probably not?
No, they don't have access to any of
Yeah.
that stuff. The port screen, what's on their port screens is just what the society allows them to see. And it's
Yeah.
all monitored. It's all monitored. The
It's
society,
so creepy.
it really is creepy because they watch everything. They even have to alternate at night, like when they take turns in their family, like
Yes,
wearing the things to
the
sleep. 'Cause
dream things.
yes, the society monitors their dreams.
Oh,
I mean, I just can't even imagine what that would be like, to be so controlled and have somebody watching me all the time.
all the time, your dreams too. Like, it would be cool to be able for you to see your dreams, but not to have the government tapped in recording your subconscious thoughts.
Right? Exactly. I mean, there's parts where
Like,
Cassia wakes up and she's like, I wonder if the society, or
they're watching me.
yeah, I know. Like, what did they think of that dream that I had? Or I'm glad I wasn't hooked up to the sleep machine tonight. It wasn't my turn.
Is it my turn?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy. I think that was like the
is.
most mind-blowing thing for me about this book. I mean, it really is just like a fun book. It's a good read. It's a quick read.
Super easy, yeah.
Yeah, easy read. But it does kind of make you think, what would life be like if, and is our society heading that way? And I sure hope not. Frankly, I will move to another country if that happens.
Same.
I'll be like, I'm out. See ya. Peace. I'm gonna go move to Canada.
I know, right? I'll go to Canada.
Yeah, that sounds good. I know people there.
I do too.
The only problem is I'd have to deal with all the snow then.
I was going to say the snow, and I don't think they have the best health care.
No, they don't have the best health care. But they do speak English fluently. That's
true.
So that's an advantage.
It's like, okay.
So it would be.
There's pros and cons to both.
Yes. But anyway, so I just, it's just kind of crazy. But I do, so along those same lines, though, I feel like Ally Condie's world building is really great because she does create this society where,
bubble.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a bubble, literally,
literal bubble.
Why Cassia's in a bubble on the front of the cover. It is. It's a bubble that they all live in. And the other thing too is they push away from the society people who are different. So like
that was another thing I noticed.
Yeah, because you've got the aberrations and the anomalies. And the anomalies were like, they were the ones who like, I'm trying to remember the difference. But the aberration.
One of them was the one that like did something, right? They were like not criminals, but something happened. They're like, oh, you did this, you're disqualified from being in society or whatever.
That's the aberrations. So it was like, you did something wrong, so you can't live here in the society. They push them to live like in the outer provinces. So they can't live in the cities where everybody else does.
No.
And they're marked
kind of a blessing and a curse, I feel like.
Agreed. And the anomalies just like have some stuff that's different about them that doesn't quite fit. There aren't a lot of anomalies left though.
No, because they're like slowly eradicating. They're like keeping the pool of quote unquote perfect people and expanding from there.
Right. See, that's the other thing. It's like, it's almost scary, like Hitler, like they're trying to create a perfect race of people.
It's so,
the way they measure everybody and keep track of things. And it's just a little creepy.
It is really creepy.
I don't know. But
I can't get too like think about it too much because it's like, do I really want to be reading this book? Probably not. But it's like, okay, it's just a book. It's fantasy.
Well, I will say this. When you get into book 3, let's just say that there's a plague, a sickness.
Ooh.
And so it's very much so like, I just finished reading it and I was like, oh my word. Like you could just substitute the word COVID-19 in this book and it's very relevant to what's happening today. So I was like,
oh wow.
So that was a little hard to read. But I mean, it's still a really good book. It's just because it made it even more realistic.
Right.
It was like, yikes. But still, it says a lot for Ally Condie though. Like even with this first book matched because to be able to have these kind of thoughts about the society and like, what would it be like if it was really like this? Like she really went full out. I mean,
she did.
how much control this society has. And so, she
did a really good job creating that world.
Yeah, I agree. She paints a very clear, very vivid picture of what it's like. So.
She does. Yes. I never heard of her before. So I always like finding new authors so I can like see what other stuff they've written. And I'm glad that you brought her up because I'm curious to see what else she's done.
Yes. This series is the only thing that I've read by her. But she does have another book called Atlantia. But I've not read that yet. So
sounds interesting.
I don't know. But I'm the same. I like discovering new authors and reading new books, which is why, I love being on Instagram and being able to follow all the different bookstagrammers and the different publishing companies and kind of see what's out there. So I just got book mail today from a publisher. So I'm really excited. So we'll see. New book to read. That'll be coming up. All right. I think we can head into some spoilers now. Yeah. That was plenty. All right. So if you have not yet read Matched by Ally Condie, then I would suggest stopping the episode here and come back and finish listening after you've read the book. But if you don't care about spoilers, and of course, if you have read the book, please continue listening.
Keep listening.
All right. I think we should start with Cassia and Xander.
Yes.
It's so sweet. Like I think it's sweet. It's super fun because, he's her best friend and then she gets matched with him and she's kind of like,
oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like, and their families are excited and her and Xander, well, I should say for her, she's like, well, I never really let myself think about Xander that way because I didn't ever think that it would be possible.
Right.
But then now she's allowed to have feelings for him romantically,
I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he like holds her hand. I love that one time for the first time he held her hand. She's like, oh yeah, we can do that now.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny. But you can tell the thing is though, is that he is clearly been in love with her for a long time.
Yes.
Like
I love that. Like it's first person, we can only see her perspective, but the way he talks and the way she like describes him, it's like, he's been in love with her forever.
Yes, you can tell, which is, it's really sweet, which then also makes it sad when Ky's picture pops up on her screen.
Flashes up.
I mean, like all she needed was one tiny little glimpse of somebody else to throw everything off kilter.
Right? Like, girl, can't you just be happy? Just let it go.
Right? Like just one tiny little glimpse. And then she's like, oh, Ky. Yeah. He's cute too.
Like you. Yeah.
But she hadn't ever really thought about him before. Like,
I guess. I don't know. I just like, I get the whole like, oh, now that my attention is piqued, I'm like, I get the curiosity factor, but I feel like, okay, you don't really know him. Xander. Like, why would you pull it through? Like, why would you pull at that thread? Especially for her, she knows nothing can happen. So why go down that path?
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's like, you've got a really good thing going on there with Xander. He is your best friend. You've known him forever. He is there for you. He is totally in love with you. But I'm going to throw it all away for some guy who I kind of know who he is, but I'm not really sure about him.
Not really.
By the way, he's an aberration and I'm not really allowed to be with him anyway.
And he's a single, so he can't even get married.
He can't even get married. That's the thing. So then, because then she talks to the agent.
Right.
What they're called. The agent comes and is like, we know what was on your, the officer. It's like, we know what was on your micro card. We know that somebody else's picture was on there, but that was a mistake. It wasn't supposed to be there. Stay away from him or whatever. And Cassia's like, okay. But then they get thrown together.
Yeah. I feel like at that point, officers or whoever is in charge, society would have been like, okay, something's happened, like keep these two apart no matter what. Or
Right.
get rid of Ky altogether, like send him back out to, I can't remember where it was that he came from, but like send him back there.
Right. He's from one of the outer provinces,
Yeah.
but now he lives with
His like foster
his aunt and
family, right?
uncle. Yeah,
Oh,
his
aunt
aunt and uncle, because their son died. And then when their son died, and then Ky's parents died, so they took Ky in, and he was allowed to live with them in the society, in the city, even though he's an aberration, because he is an aberration because of his parents, not because of something he did.
Which is so messed up.
Oh my gosh. The way that they classify them is crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I have to try and keep track of this. It's like because it's if your parents do something wrong, then it's like the whole family gets labeled an aberration.
Right.
But if just you do something wrong, like as a teenager, your parents don't become an aberration. It's just you, like you're singled out.
It's just like one way.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. But because the aberrations just commit some kind of infractions, but then they're allowed to live in the society, but they don't get all the privileges that everybody else does.
No. Which again, it's like, well, then what's the point?
Right.
Like, why don't you have like a special, like put them in jail for a certain amount of time and then give them a chance to like start over.
Right. I don't know. It's like the society just wants to get rid of everybody who's different, and not perfect.
Yeah.
So, which again, scary.
It is scary,
But you know what else is so I mentioned earlier about the society, like how they control everything, and they only have like 100 poems, 100 books or whatever, songs. So nobody knows how to write or create anything.
Right. Because Ky starts to teach her.
Right. But that blew me away. I was like, wait a minute. She can't write. Nobody knows how to write. How do you not know how to write? Like, I can't.
It seems like,
It's so crazy to think about that and be like, and then they talk about it like, back in the olden days, before the society was born, people actually wrote. I wonder what that was like. And I'm like, what would it be like to not write? Like, that's really weird.
Well, even in today, like where everything is digital, like you still jot stuff down or, write some note on your hand, or for homework, you're taking notes. Like, how can you not? Or there's even like stylus pens for tablets where you can write on your tablets. Like, how do you?
I don't know. It is
How do you
weird.
not write?
She doesn't know how to write. So, but I love that Ky does know how, because his dad learned and so taught him. And so then Ky teaches Cassia.
He teaches her. I did think that was cute.
It is cute. I like how they go on their hikes, because they're in the like hiking club, and they go on the hikes on the hill, and they're always faster than everybody else. And so he teaches her how to write in those moments by themselves. Yeah. It's really sweet.
It is very sweet.
And so in turn, though, she shares with him the poems that her grandfather gave her that were hidden.
That's right.
I love that, because I really like the relationship between her and her grandfather.
Yeah, so sweet.
It's really sweet. It's super close. I hated, though, that like, again, so the society controls when you die.
When you die, it's like they kill him.
They're like, okay, you are 80 years old. You're going to be dead now. Like,
time to go.
It's weird, because they give them something to eat or drink, something in their food. I don't remember.
I think it's in the food. Yeah.
Yeah. They have their final banquet with their family. Like, this is your last meal. What must that be like?
Gosh. I know.
If somebody said to you, I know the exact date that you're going to die. This is the date you're going to die. I mean, I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know that I could wrap my mind around that.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, okay, let's make a to-do list of all the things that I want to do, places to go,
things to see.
Only for them, they don't even have that option.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. They can't travel. They can't really do any of these things. They're just stuck there.
Yeah. I'm curious to see, because I haven't read the second or third book. I'm curious to see if they get more into like which country the society is in, like what's happening in the rest of the world kind of thing?
Yes.
Do they or not really? Do they? Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah, they do. Because they talk about,
Okay, cool.
because there's, like the cities and the society, and then there's the outer provinces, which is where Kale is from, and where also other anomalies live. And then there's like there's a war. So there's like fighting going on out there.
There's always a war.
Yeah. So I know it's kind of like,
you can't have
it's kind of in the backdrop. Like it's not really a major thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
I mean, because it's mentioned. Do they mention it in this one or just?
I don't think they do.
I don't think it's mentioned in this one, but it's like, it's not a huge thing in the other one.
Oh, okay. Just kind of a hint.
Yeah, just a little bit. But so we do kind of see the outer provinces and then some areas beyond that in the second and third book.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So she expands the world a little bit more in those books, which is really fun.
Nice.
Yeah. We get to see what it looks like outside of the city where Cassia and Xander and Ky live currently. So it's really interesting.
Do they tell you where, like what, like America, Canada, Europe, like where society is, or not really?
No, not really.
No?
I mean, I felt like, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember which book it was in, but I feel like there were some kind of clues as to it may have been America.
I mean, that's my guess, because I think Ally Condie is a American writer or author.
Yeah.
So I just assume she's in America.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Like you kind of get the sense of that from reading the other books and the descriptions of everything, the other places and whatnot. So yeah, but I'm not going to say anything more than that because I'm not going to spoil it for you. So
thank you.
But it's good.
Yay.
So I liked the love triangle. I am a fan of the love triangle trope. That is that's a fun one.
I have mixed feelings about that. There have been a couple of books I've read. I'm trying to think. Actually, now that I say that, has there just been one? I actually don't think I like love triangles. The book I was thinking of ended up not changing my mind halfway through the thought. I don't think I'm a fan of love triangles. And I think that's because, seriously, I have not read a single love triangle book where the girl actually gets with the guy that I wanted her to be with. Like she always picks the one that I don't want or don't like. And I'm like, what?
That makes sense. I'm watching a TV show right now where there is one, and she's this season, she's going to choose is what they've been saying.
Ooh.
But I'm really hoping she picks one over the other, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
But it is like, I don't know, like I enjoy love triangles, but it is also hard because you do end up rooting for one person over the other. And then if that person doesn't get picked, then it's disappointing. And sometimes it's like really heart-wrenching to see what happens.
Yes. Well, especially because at least the books I've read, like, like I haven't read the second or third book, so I don't know. I'm assuming she ends up with Ky. And it's like, you kind of know that from the start. And so it's like, okay, at least for me, I wanted her to be with Xander. So it's like, I wasn't really able to enjoy the moments with her and Xander because it's like, okay, I know where this is going.
Yes.
It's not going to end well.
Well, I mean, she's kind of with Ky at the end of this because she says it at the end of this one. She's
That's right.
Like with
she
Ky.
does. Yeah. She tells Xander.
She's with
forgot.
Ky. Yeah. So
yeah,
it is. And it's hard because we know Xander has such strong feelings for her and he's so sweet to her and so loving. Sweet. And he's like, maybe, we're perfect together. We've been best friends. We're best friends. We've known each other forever. We were even matched together, what is the matter with you? And then all of a sudden, Mr. Somebody new comes out of the blue and
running in.
His face pops up for 2 seconds on her microcard and she's running to him. Yeah. It's like it's like after his face pops up on her microcard, they are just conveniently thrown together in many situations,
Yes.
Like all of a sudden he's there all the time when they're at the gaming hall.
The game night,
And
yeah.
yep. And then he's there when they're hiking together. They're there all the
Right, yeah.
time.
He's just like
So-
suddenly popping up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little coincidental that both of her matches she happened to know, because like everyone was so shocked. Oh my
Right.
gosh, it's you and Xander, like you know each other. And her alternate match, she also knows him. I
Right.
was like, oh wow.
Because nobody ever knows their match. It's always somebody
Right.
from a different city.
Way-
It's never
yeah.
from their own city. So everyone was like, her friends were like jealous of her, and people would be like staring at her and Xander when they would walk down the street holding hands, or even like if they kissed and out in public, and people are like, that's weird, or that's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she had somebody say to
Yeah.
her, I wish my match was here too, you know? So they really have something special and something that
that
nobody else has. And then she goes and ruins it. I
I
mean,
know.
come on, you know, like
I
what the
love
heck?
Xander.
Me too.
I know, what the heck?
I do love Xander too. I had to try and like
Down
give-
girl.
give Ky a chance, but I still love
Oh,
Xander.
you're nicer than I am.
Well, you know, got to give everyone the benefit of the doubt sometimes.
I guess.
Back to her grandfather, though.
Yeah, sorry.
This is we're kind of like all over the place, but that's
I
fine.
know.
It's okay. So I love her grandfather, and I love that he gives her that compact that was her grandmother's, that then was his, that has the poems hidden inside of it. I love it
I like
because
that.
he believes in Cassia, and like he knows that she can be somebody different, you know, because they've got all the tablets. We haven't talked about the tablets yet. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to think about the tablets. Like, because they've got the green one, the red one, and the blue one. The green one, I felt like the green one is kind of like supposed to be like a Xanax. Like if you are freaking out, take a Xanax, take this green pill, you know, and then nobody knows what the red pill does at all, which is kind of creepy. It's just like there and they have it, but they don't know what it does.
Yeah.
And then they have the blue ones, which are supposed to like help them feel better or something if they're sick, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
They're healing, which I actually,
healing ones.
I would get along really well with Ruth, the spoiler queen, because I like looked up the like plot of the next two. So there's a spoiler. The red pill, I learned, makes you forget stuff. So
It does.
Oh, that's creepy.
It does. Sorry, everybody. Spoiler in book 2. It's fine.
We're in the spoiler part of the discussion.
I know. Yeah. So which is why nobody knows what the red pill does, because I don't ever remember. But I love like, because her grandfather tells her, you know, you are really strong. You don't need to take the green pill. You don't need to do this. And then when he gives her the compact, he's like, you know, this is something you're not going to understand now, but you'll understand it later, which comes into play really big in the next 2 books.
Oh, cool.
So, but I love it because it's this secret. It's like this special secret that she has with her grandfather. Because when
so sweet.
It is, and she finds the compartment in the bottom, the secret compartment in the bottom of the compact that has the poems in it. Oh my gosh, it's great.
Yeah. Well, I like that the grandfather appears to be kind of like rebel, like he has rebellious thoughts, and you know, he's not happy with what's happening, and he's okay to say that.
Right. Because there are people who are not happy with what's happening in the society. You know, and Cassia starts to question things too. Especially because of Ky. But she, you know, she starts to question things, and she's not sure why her grandfather gave her the poems. Okay, but it's crazy though. I mean, like she has to memorize them because she's
got mad memorization skills.
Right?
Skills.
I was very impressed because she memorized it in like 2 minutes.
I know.
You know? I was
like, I wish I could do that.
Right? I was like, that's pretty fast there, Cassia.
Yeah.
And then Ky sees her with the poems. She's like, shoot.
What you doing?
But she doesn't, she wonders if he saw her, but she doesn't really figure out that he saw her until later. So until he finally fesses up and tells her.
Like, I've been watching you.
But it was funny reading about the artifacts because
Uh-huh.
so her grandfather gave her that old compact. Ky has a compass. Her brother
It
has
was a
a
watch. He had a
watch.
watch.
Yeah. Xander's got one too, but I don't remember what Xander's was. But like they're
Wasn't Xander's
only
the compass?
was it or was the compass Ky's?
I thought that I'm sorry. I was thinking Ky when you said Xander. No, Ky has the compass. Oh yeah, what
Yeah.
is Xander's?
I don't even
I don't
remember.
remember.
I don't know.
Huh.
But it's weird because it's funny because those are all things that we have now.
Huh.
But
It's like,
in this world, it's so far into the future that they're like ancient artifacts. and they have like they're only allowed to have one, but then those eventually get confiscated in this book for a
yes.
variety of reasons. But
And
then
yeah,
they put the other artifacts are in a museum.
they put them
You
in a
know?
museum, and it's like they're each registered. Like when the officers come to the door, they're like, "Oh, there are 3 registered artifacts in this house, or 2 registered artifacts, however many
Mhm.
there was." I think there was just 2. It's
Yeah.
like you can't have anything private.
Nothing. And you're not allowed to have anything special because like their clothes, everybody wears the same clothes.
Yeah.
So like when she goes to her match banquet and she picks that gorgeous green silk dress, she has to give the dress back.
Yeah,
Like they don't even get to
she
keep.
can't even keep her match banquet dress.
They have like so many dresses to pick from, all different colors, but then they give the dress back. And then, but I thought it was funny that like the society gives them like a small
square of
patch
it.
of, yeah. Here's your patch of silk from your green dress. And here's the thing. How do we know it was really from her dress? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking
You
to
know that.
myself, if the girls just borrow these dresses and they don't get to keep them, I would imagine that like they would just the society's just like got all these dresses somewhere and the different girls
just like
wear
reusing them every 3
Right.
years.
So they're probably not taking the silk pieces from the actual dress. It's probably coming from like a stash of silk that they have somewhere. Like
so sad.
But we're going to tell you this is from your dress.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh. But then she gives it to Ky anyway at the
Which I
end.
thought that was kind of, I didn't really get that. Like that seems so random. Here's my dress from when I was matched with Xander.
Right?
Enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like, could she not think of anything else that was a piece of her that she
Right.
had besides something that was technically supposed to belong to Xander in a way?
Odd token, but okay.
Uh-huh. I love you, Ky. Here's something I wore when I got matched with this other boy, but whatever. It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's cool.
It's great.
I'm out of ideas. I know.
I don't know. That was kind of a weird thing, but
Yeah.
I guess she was like, well, I don't have anything else to give you. So
I guess.
But she does tell him the poems, which is nice. And then because he remembers them too and memorizes them also. And he teaches her how to write, which is really fun. But I don't know. It's just it's a sweet story. It's a good,
it is. It's very sweet.
Good love triangle. And but you do just feel really bad for Xander at the same time. Though.
You do. Oh my gosh. I was reading the whole thing like, oh, Xander, you poor boy.
Right? But he just, and here's what we didn't talk about too with the tablets. Xander and Ky both come to realize that the tablets don't work on him.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's in this one.
Either of them?
Mm-mm. It doesn't work on them.
Oh.
Yep.
That's in this first book?
It's in the first book. Yeah. It's at the end of the first book.
I totally missed that.
Yeah. Xander and Cassia are talking. And he's saying that Ky, I'm trying to find out what happened.
Find it.
Oh, because Xander's telling her the story about this time when when they were younger, and Ky dared Xander to take a red tablet because I guess Xander had figured out that he was immune to the red tablet, so they didn't work on him. So he dared Ky to do it. So Ky stole the red tablets from his parents, and then they both took one, and they realized that they were both immune to the red tablet. So it doesn't work on them.
Oh, so that'll be interesting to see why in the next books.
Which does get explained.
Cool.
So also
Good.
you find out more about her grandfather in the next two books too.
Yay.
Yes. So that was
good,
really fun.
I liked him a lot.
Me too. And that was something that I really, I was really glad that Ally Condie brought back, was that relationship with her grandfather, that she kept that as a thread throughout the books. And then we find out more about him and why he says the things that he does to Cassia. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I love
I'm
that.
glad. I liked him a lot.
Another thing that I really liked about this story was that Cassia's parents are really supportive of her. Like,
yeah, I liked her parents too.
Yeah. Well, because they know that they figure out that she's in love with Ky.
Right.
And then when Ky gets taken at the end of the book, they're like, well, we know that you're in love with him. And if you want to find him, then we're okay with that. We support you leaving to go and find him.
Yeah, I like that. Because a lot of times the parents in these like futuristic dystopian novels are like, they're just kind of space fillers. They don't really have like purpose in that, but her parents did.
Yeah, her parents have a really big part, and her brother Bram too.
Yeah, I like her brother. He's cute.
I know, he is cute. He's so much, because he's only like 10, so he's a lot younger than her. So it's fun, and it's fun the way that Ally Condie wrote Cassia and Bram's relationship, because Cassia is super sweet with Bram, which is not always the case in real life.
No. I have 3 siblings, so I can attest to that.
I myself included. I have one sister, and was not always so nice growing up. So I'm the older one, and I can remember doing like mean things to her and not being nice. So I know it's so bad. I do feel guilty. I do, now that I'm an adult.
Yeah.
And,
same. Yes. So, now that you know better.
Yes, now that I know better. I think it helps that Cassia and Bram are like 7 years of an age difference between them.
So it's not so much like your annoying younger brother. It's like, I don't know. It's different when there's a bigger age gap.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, I think so. Yeah, so the book ends with Ky being taken away, and her parents are being told that they have to move to the provinces, and they're being sent away. But then they tell her, no, you can go and follow Ky. It's fine. We know that.
Go ahead, sweetie.
How many parents are going to do that?
Not mine.
I know when I was 17, my mother would not have said that to me. Oh, you're in love with this boy? Great. Go ahead and go follow him. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just forget everything else in your future and go hunt for this boy, even though you have no idea where the society has taken him. It's fine. Who cares?
No. Okay. You do you.
Right. But she does leave to go after him. So
all right. She's figuring stuff out.
Yep. Did you have any other thoughts about anything? What did we miss? Anything we missed?
I think that we covered everything. The one thing when we were talking about her grandfather that was kind of weird was when they like took the cheek swab before he died. Yes. And they like were gonna like preserve it. I mean, I could see through the lies. I knew that society wasn't gonna try and bring him back, but it was like, what, you're telling these people that, oh yeah, save your loved one's cheek swabs and maybe we'll bring them back to life.
It's so weird that they do that, because
weird.
They're like, we're going to save their DNA in a safe place. And maybe one day, and we can't promise you, but maybe one day in the future, we'll have cloning ability to bring them back to life. Like, what?
What? Yeah.
But her dad didn't save it though. Her dad never turned it in. Her dad got rid of it.
Got rid of it.
because that's what her grandfather wanted.
Her grandfather asked, yep. It's like,
Which
please don't save my cheek swab.
I don't want to come back in this place.
Well, again, I like that was kind of her grandfather's, like, it was such a small, teeny tiny little act of rebellion, but he's like, if they're going to kill me, I am choosing to take away their chance to bring me back. So It's like he still had, he didn't choose when to die, but he chose not to come back or not to have that option. You know what I mean? Like, it was still just the tiniest, the most rebellious thing that he could do.
Yeah.
He did it.
He still got to do something on his terms. You know, the society is like, we're going to do this, but he's like, no, I'm going to rebel till the end.
Yes. I love grandfather.
Me too. He's not even like the biggest character in the book, but he's a very important character.
He is, because he has influence on Cassia, like throughout the first book, apparently throughout the next two. So it's, you still learn about his character. He himself doesn't have much of an appearance, but his influence in her is like still, it's a thread.
Yeah. And he's the one that she goes to when she's confused about Xander and Ky and she's not sure what to do. You know, he goes to her and she goes to him, not he goes to her.
I knew what you meant.
Just so everybody else knows. She goes to see her grandfather and, you know, tells him this is what's going on and I'm confused and I'm not sure what to do. And, you know, and he gives her the compact and then he's like, you know, you'll understand this one day in the future, but I want you to be strong. He tells her that she's really strong, and that she knows what a strong person. Yeah. And that's why, again, she doesn't need to take the Xanax green pill. So, oh man. Okay. Well, yeah, I think we hit on everything pretty well, right?
Cover everything. Yes.
We bounced back and forth a lot, but hey, that's all
we
right.
did, but
that is what that's what we do on this podcast. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're talking about a book and there's like so many things to talk about. It's hard to go in order.
Yes, definitely. But I recommend this book. I think it was really great. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, easy read. It's just a fun, futuristic love triangle, mysterious type story. So, and there's a lot more that happens in the next two books, which is very intriguing and interesting. So,
ooh, I have more to add to my list.
Yes, you do. And you have to let me know what you think after you read them.
I will.
All right.
Sure.
Do you want to tell everybody, because you have where they can follow you, like on Instagram or follow because you have two different accounts, right?
I have two Instagram accounts. I have my Cress, like role play / cosplay, like just kind of my Cress, like stuff that I wouldn't post on my personal account just because like none of my friends over there are that geeky. So it's like, I would feel embarrassed to post stuff over there. So my Cress roleplay account is Cress is Queen. No like caps, spaces, dots, dashes, nothing like that. And then my personal Instagram is Abigail Spajari, which my last name is. It's SPAGGIARI.
I will put links in the show notes for everybody.
Thank you. I was going to say that might be easier.
Yes. And then you guys can go and check out her fantastic Cress cosplay. And and again, that's from the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Cress, that's my favorite book out of all of those books.
Mine too.
Yes. I don't know why. I just connect with her the most.
Same.
You know, also slightly jealous of her because,
right? Because
you know, she gets to be with the guy that she picked. I mean, come on. What every teenage girl has this like one guy who they like fantasize over, some celebrity type person.
She married,
and
I'm assuming they get married. She married her celebrity crush. Like,
right?
What?
I mean, come on. She wins, man.
She does.
Wins. And it's just that it's just the sweetest story how they come together. Oh my gosh. I just can't.
I love their story so much.
Me too. And I do promise you guys, I am going to cover some Lunar Chronicles books on this podcast at some point.
Ooh, that'll be exciting.
Although first I am going to cover Renegades this summer. So.
Okay. I have not read Renegades.
Oh, it's good. It's good. You'll like it.
Is it? That's what I've heard. I'm not super because someone I don't know where someone was talking about it and they were saying like, oh, it's very like superheroes kind of thing. And I'm not like a big fan of superheroes.
Okay.
Like just like that, like the whole like Marvel, DC. Like I like Wonder Woman, but that's like I like the movie. I don't know that I would enjoy reading about a superhero or superheroes as much as I would watching it. I don't know. It's never really appealed to me.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Not everybody is into that. And it is very superhero.
Is it okay? That's what I thought.
It's superhero versus villain. Yeah, totally
cool.
is.
Well, that's cool.
So if you're not sure, it's all right. Everyone likes different things, right?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. That's why I have different guests for different books. And
there you go. Mix it up.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Abigail, for being here. This was so fun to have you on here and get to talk about this book. And
thank you for having me.
Sure. Oh, tell people where they can buy your book.
You can buy it on Amazon and at Barnes and Nobles. Those are the only two that I know of. I'm pretty sure you can get it like anywhere you can get books. I mean, obviously like used bookstores, their inventory varies and stuff, but there is a link for the Amazon page in my personal bio. So on Instagram.
And I'll put a link to it in the show notes for today too. So,
oh, thank you.
Yeah. That way everybody can check out your book as well. So, all right.
Not have to check spelling. My crazy last name.
Yes. It'll be easy for everybody to find. I relate to the crazy last name, not now, but my maiden name was horrific. So nobody could spell it or pronounce it. So, I understand.
Rip. Yeah.
But all right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Yay. And we will chat again soon. Today's podcast featured the book Matched by Ally Condie. Be sure to check out YA Book Chat on Instagram and Facebook, and be sure to like and subscribe so you get your podcast episodes as soon as they are available. And hey, have you checked out my Patreon yet? Be sure to do that at the link in the show notes for today. Take a look and check out all of the benefits you could get from being a patron. YA Book Chat was created, hosted, and edited by me, Leah Stuhler.